Now let's put something in the mouth so we can brush our teeth in just a moment because we need some comfort food. And if you're craving something rich and comforting, today is your day. This dish is just what you didn't know you needed yet. We are making a Maiale al latte. I have no idea how that sounded. It's a succulent Italian pork braised in a little bit of milk. It's tender, it's juicy, and packed with flavor, obviously. And the best part, we are using Clover's no-lap lactose-free milk so that everybody at the table can actually enjoy it without any worries. And Teresa is here to show us how it's done. You're doing a lot of braising, girl. The braising is amazing because we're working with a piece of a cut that normally would look slightly different. Yes? Explain yourself.
So this is a pork loin. You can cook it whole, but we've sliced this one up just to make it a little bit quicker. And what I'm doing here is just browning the pork. So you want that nice golden crispy crust.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Because it does form a beautiful crust.
Exactly. And if you cook it in the milk straight away, you're not going to get that crust.
I see. And of course, what's in the crust? That's the caramelization of the fats. That's the flavor.
The flavor, exactly. So you don't want to skip this step. You can do it as a whole roast if you'd like to, or you can do it in little bits.
No, I like this. And I like the fact that once we start the braising process and we really tenderize this meat, you're going to have all of these beautiful little bits of flavor-filled meat. I love that.
So nice.
Are we keeping this going?
Keep this
because we've got the flavor.
All the goodness is in there. So now we're going to saute our aromatics. So we've got some onion here. And you just want to soften that. It's such a simple recipe, honestly.
And you're kind of doing, would this still fall under the deglazing category if you are now taking the flavors that's left on the pan there, or would this not fall within that?
And we're going to add the liquid as well, so that's going to lift all of that off the pan.
Because there's gold in that.
You don't want to waste that. You really
love
don't.
that. I love that.
We're going to add some garlic, and we're adding whole herbs here. We are going to filter them out later.
Okay.
We've got some garlic, we've got some beautiful fresh herbs, we've got rosemary, thyme, and bay leaves.
I know you're not a botanist, but within the culinary space, because I've often noticed a difference in the result when you're using a whole herb.
Yes.
When you go all in. Does it make that much of a dramatic difference?
It really does. If you don't have access to fresh, it's fine. Use dried, but you're going to get that intense flavour from the fresh herbs. So it's just a difference in flavour and that intensity.
Just bring it out.
So,
if you can, it's a luxury, then do it. Whole peppercorns as well.
Whole peppercorns, a bit of paprika, a bit of salt.
Now we're going to be finding peppercorns all over the studio for the next week. It's okay. I'm just going to look at Lucian and go, Teresa.
You're supposed to ignore that,
It's for the gram. It's for the gram. It's okay.
So that we're going to cook for just a minute or two because you want all of these aromatics to release their flavour.
Because they are, like, when you're dealing with whole kind of little twigs and things like that, you've got the oils in that are going to release. You need to give it the option, give it the time and space to be able to breathe, so to speak.
Yeah, and you want the whole ones in there. It's, beautiful. Okay, so our onions are softened, and now we're going to add our liquid.
Okay.
So we've got some stock here. We're using chicken stock today. If you were doing this with beef, you could use beef stock. Whatever you like. And then our Clover no-lac is going to go in here as well.
I think
you want to pour about 2 cups in there?
I'm going to just intuitively go with that.
There we go.
Oh, is that right?
That looks good. And I can feel the sort of crustiness is all lifting off the bottom. And that flavour is all getting in there.
I can smell it releasing.
Isn't it amazing?
I love that. That's layers of flavour. Absolutely beautiful. And when we said that this meal is for everybody, we weren't kidding. The no-lac is such a life hack. It makes dairy accessible to absolutely everybody with its easy-to-digest formula. Even those with lactose intolerance can enjoy the creamy goodness of milk once again without feeling any of the bloating, the nausea, the cramps, any of the stuff that we don't like. And now the magic can happen.
So pork goes back in. So if you were doing a whole pork loin, you would want to cook it really low and slow, so about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Cover your pot.
I was going to ask, because pork is an interesting one to cook. You can, for me, it's either very fast or very slow.
Yeah.
And when dealing with like a pork fillet, which has got very little fat in it.
Yeah.
You want to really, really treat it with care, with kid gloves,
Absolutely,
so to speak.
absolutely.
But yeah, I'm thinking you've got all of this beautiful fat to render in there. You've got so much flavor. Surely give it as much time to develop and sing as you can.
I really would. And you're going to leave it in there until your pork is cooked through and tender. You're then going to take your pork out and let it rest, especially if it's a whole roast. You definitely want to let it rest.
For sure.
And then you're going to reduce the sauce. You're going to strain out all the leaves and the bits and pieces, and you're going to have this creamy, beautiful sauce that you can then pour over your pork. And you're all sorted.
And in this case,
So
it's
delicious.
dairy-free. I always feel like when we do one of these things with one of these miraculous new kind of products, there is a nonna somewhere rolling her eyes at us. This time, it's absolutely okay. You can head over to expressoshow.com and start creating just for yourself. Comfort food to the max. Look at that.
Delicious.
Say goodbye to nausea and cramps and say hello to delicious freedom with Nolax range of lactose-free milk and yogurt. Be free with lactose-free.